Hello everyone, and welcome to another video on Giles' Life of Cars, and this time it's going to be looking at the Mark 1 Ford Focus in Motorsport. I've done the video on my Hyundai M20 in Motorsport, so it kind of makes sense to do one on my Mark 1 Focus and what motorsports it was used in back in the day when it was around. So yeah, just hopefully people will enjoy this video, and just me showing you, like, just talking about and just showing you some pictures along the way of the cars that and what categories the Mark 1 Focus was used in. So yeah, let's get on with it. So right, so we'll start off like with the Mark 1 Focus in the British Touring Car Championship. This is probably the lesser known motorsport it was in. It wasn't in the main class in the BTCC. It was in what's effectively called Class B, or the production class. It was first seen in the 2000 British Touring Car season, just for one round at round 11 at Oulton Park. It was where it just did 2 races, and it was in the, so I've just got some notes as well, and it was just entered by a team called GR Motorsport and driven by drivers Simon House and Gareth Howell, just for that one round of the 2000 season. But that was when it was first seen in the British Touring Car Championship. So just that one round of 2000. I'll put up pictures on screen, and the pictures I've managed to find, I'm not sure if they're from 2000 or as I'm going to talk about the 2001 season. But these are the pictures that will be up on screen, are of the Focus in the BTCC, and yeah, either from 2000 or most likely 2001. So but yeah, it was mainly the Class B production class at the lower classes I've mentioned. Well, I don't want to call it lower class, it was more standard spec class, I should rephrase that. So yeah, and then 2001 was the main season it was in, that for that the full season, driven by various drivers. I'm just looking at my notes. And it's basically the only full year that the Mark 1 was in the BTCC. It's driven by various drivers, most notably Gordon Shedden, Matt Jackson, Gareth Howell. If anyone's watched the British Touring Car Championship, they're the most well-known drivers that have driven the Mark 1 Focus in the BTCC. And then a couple of other drivers that aren't as well known now, called Rick Kramer and Richard Mines. So it was only Matt Jackson that drove the car for the full season. All the other drivers drove the second entry at various rounds during the season. So the second car was that kind of shared between, like, I think it's about 4 or 5 drivers. Just Matt Jackson was the only one that did the full season. So yeah, that's, again, it's the production class as I mentioned, and 2001 was that the only full season, and that also the last time the Mark 1 Focus was seen in the BTCC. So its time in the British Touring Car Championship was short-lived, like one race in 2000 and then just 2001, and then disappeared after that. The Focus wouldn't return to the BTCC until 2009, and the facelift Mark 2 form when it was entered by Team Aon, driven by Tom Chilton and Alan Morrison in 2009, and later 2010 was Tom Chilton and Tom Onslow Cole, but that's another story. So yeah, so the Mark 1 Focus, it did have a bit of time in British Touring Car Championship, but not much. So yeah, that's all I can really say on that here. So that's touring cars covered. And then the next series I'm going to cover is probably what the Mark 1 Focus is most famous for, and that is the World Rally Championship rallying. So I'm going to again show pictures up as we go along here. I'm also going to show a book I have on the Focus WRC car as well, right, as we go along. So the Mark 1 Focus in the WRC was first entered in 1999, developed by M Sport, and it was most famously driven by Colin McRae and Carlos Sainz Sr. And it's, yeah, basically rallying's the is where it's most famous. Just trying to remember the statistics on this. It's just give me a second. Yeah, so it was entered from 1999 to 2005. The main seasons it was most successful was like from the years 1999 to 2002. Almost won the World Rally Championship in 2001 in the hands of Colin McRae. But I think it was a. I know. I think it was a. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know. I think it was a blown engine, or was it an accident? No, it was an accident that cost him the title that year, 2001. So, but it was in its famous colours, which I'm going to show you in the book and that I don't have up on screen. Took its first rally victory at the 1999 Safari Rally. Top of my head, sorry, I'm just trying to remember certain things, and just some things I just can't remember off the top of my head. So, but I'll tell you what, I'll show you the book. This will probably help me like it as well, right? Just talk through it. So just move the camera, just switching to... Right, so yep, so sorry about that bit of mistake of camera work there, but yeah, this is the Focus WRC book I've got. It's got the picture of the Mark II WRC on the front, but it does cover both the Mark 1 and Mark II Focus rally car. We're just going to be focusing on the Mark 1 first of all, and you can see there, like, when first open it's this is the livery that everyone remembers, the Mark 1 Focus in the Martini liveried. Mark 1 Focus, in this case it's signs as, yeah, yeah, and just so it does have a lot of information, this book and everything. It's be a lot to go through, and just introductions, just basically showing the rally cars that Ford had before the Mark 1 Focus, like the Escorts, the RS 200, the Sierra. So yeah, Escort, RS Cosworth, and obviously this was the mid-90s, just before it became the Focus, and obviously they were also developing a Puma version rally car. So yeah, and obviously this is when, on about when it first started, it introduced the obviously Escort there, and just when it was unveiled like in November 1998, just as a taster, just for like showed off the, yeah, just the Focus WRC, but an incomplete version, like just the Focus taking over for 1999 from the Escort. Yeah, as I say, if you do buy this book, it is worth buying. It is a good read and everything. So just say, can't show everything on the information, and just, yeah, just as I said, it's M Sport under that Malcolm Wilson that designed and developed the Mark 1 Focus, and yeah, and that Martin Whitaker, another key figure in to develop the Focus WRC. Yeah, just a couple of other figures, that Gunter Steiner of later Formula 1 fame for Jaguar and Haas. So he had his part to play in the Focus WRC. Yeah, younger Gunter Haas. It just that shows that the initial Focus WRC suspension. Yeah, so I've got a lot of technical information, just how it that all came about. It is it's a lot to go through, and just kind of like this technical drawing here, how it was all laid out, and yes, just anatomy of the Mach 1 Focus WRC. Yeah, just like with the four-wheel drive transmission, and yeah, just how it's all laid out. And it also gives like the time frame on how the Focus WRC and M Sport came to be, like from during 1998. First It's a roll cage design settled May 98, suspension design finalised June. The first prototype body shell completed August 98, and Colin McRae visited the Dunton facilities before signing. And then September 98, the first engines were delivered. And then October 1st, gearboxes. And 21st of October was when the engine was fired up. And yeah, then car first tested at Millbrook on 22nd. It's probably just a shakedown. Yeah, public launch December 98. Yeah, so basically across the full year of 98 was basically all came together, like obviously put together, designed and finalised and everything. Yeah, obviously the Z-Tech engine was the basis for the WRC engine, and yeah, and just obviously Mountune being obviously the one that developed the engine to go in the WRC kart. Yeah, as you see there, the engine bay was out completely full, right, with all the modifications done to make it the rally version compared with the road version of the Mark 1. I should say it's a 2-litre Z-Tech engine. I should say that's what it's based on, but obviously heavily modified. Yeah, and obviously there's a gearbox. Yeah, and the late great Colin McRae there when test car like in obviously when it first came about, and yeah, and then just it goes on to about the obviously covers the first full season 1999. Obviously the Colin McRae and Carlos Sainz driving it, and yeah, and then just obviously the Ford did the advertisement for like promoting obviously the Focus Rally, the Focus car, and how it also like got converted into the successful rally car. Yeah, just say some of these pictures are really nice. I'm showing you through here, and yeah, see that's 1999, the first livery in corner. Then it 2000 what evolved into. Fernando Carlos Sainz that joined in 2000. To correct myself there. Come on, focusing camera. In 2002, and yeah, even though they uses the same colours like white, red, and blue, you can see the changes that went through the 4 seasons. Obviously, there was more blue as time went on. As obviously, Spanish sponsor Telefonica movie star joined when Carlos Sainz joined the team. Yeah, just I know there's a lot of reading there. Just on about it goes on about Colin McRae, and so a lot to go through. And yeah, it's basically the first ride I did 1999 Monte Carlo. The Colin McRae finished third, but they were disqualified because of homologation problems with the engine installation. So it had a decent start, but sadly the disqualification kind of ruined it. But obviously that's a nice shot. Young Petter Solberg there. As I said, the first outright win for the Focus at the Safari Valley in 99 with Colin McRae. And then they also won later in the season in Portugal, the second victory for the Mk1 Focus in rallying. Yeah, I'll just try and get through a few of these, and just say it's a lot to go through. Yeah, and it goes on about the next few seasons, 2000 to 2002. Yeah, and Acropolis Rally and Carlos Sainz came in second, and then won in Spain as well in 2000. And yeah, this was another drive and another different livery lap driven by Francois Delacour. Drove for the Works team in 2001 without the Martini sponsorship. But he just drove the same up-to-date car as Carlos Sainz and Colin McRae. Yeah, just some of these are really nice shots, and they'd say goes on, won the Cyprus Rally of 2001, and said that that same car I drove there would also win in Acropolis in 2002. Yeah, well, I'd say just so you know, there's a lot to go through here. Can't show you everything, but yeah, again, I've seen that picture at the beginning, and again, just a few different liveries that ran, like it's driven by Marco Martin, 2002 Acropolis Rally, RS livery. Yeah, so I know that's the 1999 to 2002 era, which was probably the most successful time for the Mk1 Focus in the WRC. But he continued competing until 2005. But after 2002, Colin McRae and Carlos Sainz had left, and it was now down to drivers like from rising stars like Marco Martin to take up the mantle, and Miko Herven and yeah, and like Francois Duval as well. I say, but this was probably where obviously the Focus was starting to lose its competitive edge. Although Marco Martin still managed to win the Acropolis Rally in June 2003, so the Focus did continue to do well in Greece. It just seemed to have won it like every year for like 4 years on the trot up until 2003. Yeah, it's 2004. See, I'll try and get to the page where it gives you the stats, and but some of these pictures that I thought are worth showing anyway before. Yeah, it's getting on towards the end of its time. See, it lost the Martini sponsorship, and yeah, the Telefonica sponsorship, so the liveries are definitely changed, even though they still had the red, blue and white. This one has the green of Castrol on as well. Yep, so won 2004 Rally Spain. So it still continued to do well, even if it never won the championship. It just continued to win the occasional rallies, even if it in its last few years. Yeah, and obviously new sponsorship that would later become synonymous with the Mark II. Focus WRC BP Ultimate was starting to show like in 2004 and 2005. Yeah, 2005, second place at 2005 Acropolis Rally, and driver Tony Gardemaster, come on, focus in. It's getting towards the end of its time of the WRC, like it's been in for that 2005, so I think we're in its 7th season, 99, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, yeah, 7th season, so we've got a few podiums. And then we're getting on to the Mark II being introduced here, so this is of the end of 2005 when it was transitioning from like the Mark 1. Then the Mark II was introduced at end of 2005, and I'm just finding the stats page, and I think it'll be towards the end. So yeah, I'll skip the Mark II WRC. Yeah, so excuse me a minute, just. Oh yeah, here we are. This is at the specifications at the end of the page. So it's based on the Z-Tech engine, just heavily modified to give the 300 horsepower with obviously turbocharged. Yeah, extract gearbox and Brembo brakes. And just as where it finished in the standings, so 4th in manufacturers in 99 and 6th for Colin McRae, 2nd in 2000 for manufacturers and 4th for Colin McRae. Yeah, and to see there, 2001 was its best year, like 2nd in manufacturers and 2nd in the World Rally Championship for Colin McRae behind the late Richard Byrne. So yeah, 2001 is when it came closest. 2002 it was 2nd again in manufacturers and 3rd for Carlos Sainz this time. In 2003 came 4th and then 5th in the drivers for Marco Martin. 2004 it had a bit of a boost back up to 2nd, and manufacturers and 3rd for Marco Martin. Then its final year, 2005, 3rd and manufacturers and 4th for Tony Gardemeister. So yeah, you can tell 2001 was its peak, and then it did continue to do relatively well, but it were kind of on the down after 2001. So and then just gives that some of the highlight results here. So 99 it won 2 rallies for Colin McRae at Safari and Portugal, and 2000 numerous podiums, and then come on, focus in. Yeah, so yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 wins for Colin McRae and 2 wins for one win for Carlos Sainz in 2000, so 5 wins in 2000. 2001, again numerous podiums. You had 1, 2, 3, well, three wins for Colin McRae that year. Again, numerous podiums. In 2002, so excuse me a minute. So about that, I thought I'd also put light on as well, and so I had 3 wins in 2002 and 2 wins in 2003, and just counting up wins here. And 3 rally wins in 2004. So I think, just checking. Yeah, so it's the Mark 1's last rally victory came at the 2004 Rally Spain Catalonia. So that was when it last won a rally, and then just got a few podiums in 2005, and that were it. So yeah, that's it. So yeah, so that's that book there. I just showed you the Mark 1 stuff, and but I say it's got as much information, if not more, on the Mark 2 Focus WRC as well. It is worth buying if anyone's interested in that. Obviously the rallying and the Ford Focus, it is an interesting read. So, but yeah, hopefully this video's turned out all right, and if anybody is watching, you'll enjoy it. So yep, thought I'd show you that. Yep, so I thought I'd bring it back around to my face here. So yep, I'll leave that there. I think it's drilled on a bit longer than I intended to here, but hopefully it's not being like a boring watch, and hopefully anybody who does watch it, you'll enjoy it. So yeah, so I'll end this here now. Everybody take care, be kind to each other, stay safe, and bye.